Welcome to our 4th grade PTO program. We are so glad that you came. Tonight we are going to tell you about some famous Americans from the past and today. Each of these men and women have displayed character traits that make them successful at what they do. Each of these people have served as role models for boys and girls everywhere and showed us that we can all succeed if we try. Each of them, in their own way, have contributed to making America great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. You might learn something from us tonight.
I started the American Red Cross. I wanted to bring comfort to all who suffer due to war or natural disaster. I am Clara Barton, a nurse. I was called an angel of the battlefield for my work at the Battle of Sharpsburg.
I was a president during the American Civil War. I am Abraham Lincoln. I'm known as a great emancipator because I ended slavery. I'm sure you know all about me, but did you know I was first president to grow a beard?
My part in history is small. I am Mary Catherine Goddard. I was hired by Congress to print the official copy of the Declaration of Independence. I was proud to serve my new country.
I was born in Germany, but came to America in 1939. I developed the general theory of relativity. I'm best known for my formula, E=mc². I developed the first atomic bomb that ended World War II. I am Albert Einstein, the father of atomic age.
The buck stops here. If you can't take the heat, then stay out of the kitchen. These are two of my favorite sayings. I am the 33rd President of the United States. Some historians say I made more tough decisions than any other president. I made the tough decision to integrate the military in 1948. I am Harry S. Truman. The Bill of Rights applies to everybody in this country, and don't you forget it.
I am currently the only woman on the Supreme Court. My decisions help the highest court in our land. I am Ruth Bader Ginsburg. My opinions and decisions help now and for generations to come.
I was the first vice president and the second president of the United States. I'm John Adams, a once famous lawyer who successfully defended the soldiers accused in the Boston Massacre.
I rode with the Rough Riders during the Spanish-American War before becoming President of the United States. I am Theodore Roosevelt, a.k.a. Teddy. I was a tireless conservationist and winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. I like to remind my fellow Americans that it is not what makes us a great nation, it is the way that we use it.
Lawyer, author, amateur poet, I am Francis Scott Key, inspired by the flag still flying after the bombardment of American troops. During the Battle of Baltimore, I wrote our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Even though it is hard to sing, it is still sung to this day.
I was called Moses because, like Moses, I led my people out of slavery and into the promised land of freedom. I am Harriet Tubman, and I started the Underground Railroad.
I'm a woman preacher who campaigned nationwide for the abolition of slavery and important women's rights. I am Sojourner Truth, and I also raised money for the Black Union soldiers.
I was the first North American to go to space. I orbited Earth at the Friendship 7 at the age of 41. I am John Glenn. I later went back at the discovery at the age of 77. Seeing space from Earth is one of the most amazing sights ever.
As an African-American poet, I wrote a poem for General George Washington praising him and freedom. I am Phyllis Wheatley. I helped spread the message of freedom in letters, plays, and poems.
Migrant workers pick most of the fruits and vegetables that we eat today, and in the 1960s they lived in horrible conditions. I worked for the rights of migrant workers. I'm Cesar Chavez, and I started the United Farm Workers of America, or the UFW.
I am Laura Ingalls Wilder. I was an American pioneer and author. My pa moved our family often, so we lived in the woods and also on the plains. I finally settled down when I married. I soon realized I had a story to tell and began writing about my life as a pioneer. These stories became known as the Little House books. Many of you have watched the TV show Little House on the Prairie, which is based on my books.
In 1955, on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, I refused to give up my seat for a white man. I am Rosa Parks, and I am called the mother of civil rights. Blacks had to sit at the back of the bus and were required to give up their seats for whites. My simple act of refusal to do what seemed wrong to me led to many changes in the law at that time.
Most people know me for my career as an actor. I was nominated for 5 Academy Awards and won in 1940. I won the Academy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1985. I took time off my military service, including in the United States Air. I took time off my acting career and enlisted in the Army in 1941. I fought in World War II as a bomber pilot and later became a brigadier general. I received a number of awards for my military service, including the United States Air Force Distinguished. I'm James Stewart, better known as Jimmy.
Early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is just one of my many sayings from my book, Poor Richard's Almanac. I am Benjamin Franklin, one of Philadelphia's most famous citizens. I am a scientist and inventor. My achievements are too many to list.
I am a heroine of the American Revolutionary War. I am best known for holding 6 British soldiers at gunpoint. This is only one of my many patriotic efforts. I am Nancy Morgan Hart, a sharpshooter and lover of freedom.
I was wife of John F. Kennedy and the First Lady of the United States. I am Jackie Kennedy. I restored and renovated the White House. I am remembered for the contribution and preservation of this historical architecture, as well as for my style, elegance, and grace. I worked as a book editor for the last 2 decades of my life.
I'm wildly credited as being
I'm John Fitzgerald Kennedy. I was the President of the United States and led our country with a cool head and a clear mind. I firmly believed in the civil rights and tax reform. Because of my convictions, I was assassinated on November 22, 1963 in Dallas, Texas.
I'm wildly credited as being asked by General George Washington to sew the first American flag. I am Betsy Ross, and even though it has not been proven that I made the first American flag, I did mend uniforms, make tents and blankets, and stuff paper tube, ammunition cartridges for muskets.
American popular award-winning author known for creating juvenile fiction that is identifiable to some readers like Freckle Juice, Double Fudge, Super Fudge, Blubber, and many, many more. I am Judy Bloom. I once said, let children read whatever they want, then let parents talk to them. If kids can talk together, we won't have as much censorship because we won't have as much fear.
At 103 years of age, I'm one of the most successful living authors of children and young adult books. With over 91 million copies sold, I am Beverly Cleary. Works you may remember are Henry Huggins, Runaway Ralph, Beezus and Ramona, and many, many more. I was once quoted as saying I've had an exceptionally happy career.
I used my wealth to start a colony for people who owed money or were very poor. I wanted to give them a new start. I started the colony of Georgia. I'm James Overthorpe, and I show compassion to my fellow man.
I was an actor who starred in many films. I later became President of the United States. I used my quick wit and way with words to challenge my opposition. One of my goals was to see communism fall. I am Ronald Reagan.
I made several attempts at the candy business before a friend loaned me money. I developed Hershey caramels. I am Milton Hershey. I was never afraid of failure. Sometimes what it takes to have something great are a lot of failures.
I was the first woman to serve on the United States Supreme Court. My name is Sandra Day O'Connor. I serve as a role model for girls everywhere, showing that you can have a successful career and be a wife and mother as well.
At 17, I started experimenting with different types of indigo, which is hard to grow in South Carolina and Georgia. I developed a type of indigo which was much easier to grow and became a cash crop for the colonies. I am Eliza Lucas Pickney, and my indigo is still used today to color blue jeans.
I am famous for flying across the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. I'm Amelia Earhart. I attempted to fly around the world and disappeared on July 2nd, 1937. People still search for the remains of my plane today.
I'm a great American poet, but my poetic genius was not found until after my death. Nearly 2,000 of my poems are published posthumously. I was dedicated to my family and friends, but often felt alone, except when I communicated with plants, flowers, and birds. I am Emily Dickinson.
I'm Oliver Wright. Together we introduced the world to the edge of flight. On December 17th, 1903, we flew our first plane on the beach of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Our plane only flew 120 feet, but lasted 12 seconds.
But that was not enough to prove that it could be done. On that historic day, we flew our plane 3 more times, taking turns at the controls. And our longest flight lasted 59 seconds, and I was the pilot. I am Wilbur Wright.
I'm David Crocker. I was a frontiersman and a politician. Although I had very little schooling, I became a member of Congress. I died defending the Alamo in 1836 from the Alamo.
I'm an American frontiersman and a pioneer. I built the wilderness road on which many settlers traveled west. I led many settlers to Kentucky and Missouri. I was also a politicianist who served in the Virginia Assembly. I'm Daniel Boone.
I attended West Point and became the leader of the Union Army during the Civil War. I am Ulysses S. Grant. General Lee surrendered to me at Appomattox Courthouse. I became president after the war. I'll always be remembered for the war, but not for my politics.
I'm a tanner and I'm active in the Boston Militia. I am William Dawson. I was the only one to complete that midnight ride.
I'm a Massachusetts Patriot and important liaison between the Concord Defense Committee and John Hancock. I'm Dr. Samuel Prescott.
Our midnight ride is one of the war. Our midnight ride is one of the legends of the War of Independence. What are you doing? I mean, you're messing it up.
A Massachusetts Patriot. Oh God.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Our midnight ride is one of the legends of the War of Independence. Stop.
I can't help it.
Our midnight ride is one of the legends of the War of Independence. We spread the alarm that the British were coming and everybody should be prepared for battle.
I was the third president of the United States and one of the primary writers of the Declaration of Independence. I'm Thomas Jefferson. I wrote what I believed were the basic rights of all men, among these life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
As a girl, I grew up a Quaker but was turned away when I married James Madison. As First Lady of the United States, I established Easter egg roll at the White House. I'm remembered for saving George Washington's portrait when the White House was burned in the War of 1812. I was the first woman to be given a seat in the House of Representatives. I'm Dolly Madison.
I'm James Madison. I'm known as the father of the Constitution because I had a plan for the new system of government, which favored into a strong central government with the states' rights. I later became President of the United States. Although I'm small in stature, my plan for the government still stands tall today.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
I am a proud suffragette woman who fought for the right to vote for all women. I'm Susan B. Anthony. I did not live to see my dream come true, but every time a woman votes, she has me to thank.
I was a friend of the famous Susan B. Anthony. We fought for women's suffrage when the 14th and 15th Amendment excluded gender equality. I'm Elizabeth Cady Stanton.
Most of you probably don't know my name. I'm the most decorated American soldier. I'm David Hackworth. I've earned 90 decorations for my service to the country that I love. I've served in World War II, the Korean conflict, and the Vietnam War.
I was born to Cherokee and Scottish parents. I was bilingual, speaking both Cherokee and English. I was principal chief of the Cherokee Nation and a diplomat during the relocation of the Indian Territory in the American Civil War. I was the first to stand up to American government for the rights of the Indians. I'm John Ross, one of 5 of the richest in the Cherokee Nation. I was raised on Lookout Mountain and founded Ross's Landing, which is known today as Chattanooga, Tennessee.
My grandfather built the Gordon Lee Mansion. It stayed in my family for 124 years. I'm Gordon Lee. I was married to the richest woman in Georgia, Olivia Berry. Together we added the 25-foot columns, concrete, cornice, and the brick porches that are still in the mansion today.
My name is the first one everyone sees on the Declaration of Independence. Can you guess what it is? John Hancock. I was the president of the Second Continental Congress, and I proudly sign my name in large letters. Now, if anyone asks for your signature, they ask for you. John Hancock.
I am Mickey Mouse creator. My first animated film was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. People called it the Disney Follies and said no one would come to see it. They were wrong. I am Walt Disney, and I am living proof that dreams can come true. Disney World was my dream come true.
I'm Jackie Robertson. I became the first black man to play Major League Baseball. It was not an easy thing to do. I was spit on, called names, and had things hurled at me from the stands, just for playing baseball. I stood my ground and I made a difference.
I am Brand Shricki. I asked Jackie to help me break the color barrier in Major Baseball. I never knew just how hard it would be. I found the perfect person in Jackie. He's not only an outstanding athlete, but a good man. Together we changed the face of all Major League sports.
I dressed in man clothes and joined the Continental Army. My name is Deborah Sampson, and I was wounded 3 times until it was discovered I was a woman.
I use my writing ability to support the cause of freedom. I am Mercy Otisthorne, and my place made fun of the British leaders and complained about how the British treated the colonies.
I was co-captain of Corps of Discovery. I'm William Clark. I studied astronomy and map making. I was also the official cartographer while exploring land bought by President Jefferson, also known as Louisiana Purchase. I recorded plant and animal life and other valuable information on our journey.
I was a resolute and resourceful shoeshine woman. I am Sacagawea. I was a guide and interpreter on Lewis and Clark's expedition.
I was Private Secretary and Aide to President Thomas Jefferson. I'm Meriwether Lewis. I was chosen Captain of the Corps of Discovery because of my keen observation and sharp eye. My fellow explorers both admire and respect me. Some call me the greatest pathfinder this country has ever known.
I was a four-legged explorer that Captain Lewis brought to explore the Louisiana Purchase. I carried backpacks and pulled rope. I also hunted for game and fished for salmon. I was a valuable part of the Corps of Discovery. I am Seaman, a Newfoundland dog.
I was Helen Keller's teacher, Ann Sullivan. I had to be strict and determined to unlock the world of darkness and silence in which Helen lived. I never gave up on Helen, and I believed that she was smart and she could overcome her disabilities. Together we have shown the world how important it is to work together.
I was the Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War. I'm also one of the founding fathers of the United States of America. I also presided over the convention that drafted the current United States Constitution. I am George Washington, first President of the United States, and also called Father of my country.
I am the founder of the Girl Scouts of the United States of America. I was nicknamed Crazy Daisy for all my struggles to become independent. I am Juliet Gordon-Lowe. Today there are 2.7 million members. Truly ours is a friendship of peace united by our ideas.
I contracted polio at the age of 39, and this disease changed my life forever. I built a little white house in Warm Springs, Georgia to help people recover from this disease. I'm Franklin D. Roosevelt. I am the only president to serve 4 terms in the office and led the United States House of Representatives.
I was a shy, quiet little girl, but grew up to serve as a delegate to the United Nations. I was married to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and I was no silent First Lady. I'm Eleanor Roosevelt, and I fought throughout my life for equal rights for all people. My humanitarian efforts earned me the title of the First Lady of the World. I was at the Battle of Monmouth. I carried pitchers of water to the Continental soldiers and attended to the wounded. I am Mary Ludwig Hayes, better known as Molly Pitcher. When my husband was shot down, I took up his gun and fought beside the soldiers and was honored by General George Washington.
I was born a dirt poor country girl and faced many struggles in my youth. I'm an American country pop and gospel singer, songwriter, instrumentalist, record producer, author, actress, businesswoman, and philanthropist. Not only do I wear many hats, I wear a coat of many colors. I am Dolly Parton. I'm the most honored country singer of all time. Come on out to the mountains and enjoy my hometown in Sevierville, Tennessee.
As a child, I was fascinated with outer space and dreamed of traveling there. I am Sally Ride. I joined NASA in 1978 and was the first woman to travel to space in 1983 when I blasted off into space aboard the Challenger.
My career started in 1929, actress, comedian, model, film, and studio executive. I won many awards for my lifetime achievements. I am Lucille Ball. I am well known for my self-produced comedy sitcom, I Love Lucy and The Lucy Show are a couple of those sitcoms. I was also the first woman to run my own television studio and produced many shows. A very popular show you may remember, Star Trek.
I am the first woman to office to earn a PhD from John Hickams. I am Forrest Boscombe, a pioneer in microscope findings of rocks and minerals.
Happy trails
Hi, I'm Will Rogers, the King of Cowboys. Me and Dale have been married for 51 years. We've been on countless films and TV shows. We even had our own TV show.
I am Dell Evans, Queen of the West. Our greatest accomplishment was starting the Happy Trails Children Foundation.
We use much of our royalties from our fame to fund this organization to help several abused and neglected children still today.
Happy Trails!
Thank you so much for coming tonight. We hope that you feel just a little better about our country and the people that make it work.
Next time they tell you they can't remember those spelling words, guys, they had this stuff remembered in like a week. So they did an awesome job. Let's give them a great big hand. They were amazing.